Es un placer para mí, como ministra de Economía, abrir esta prestigiosa conferencia que se ha ido consolidando como uno de los eventos anuales más importantes del mundo financiero. El alto nivel y la cualificación de los participantes, tanto los oradores como las personas que están en la audiencia hoy, confirman la importancia de este evento. Y además quiero felicitar al Banco de Santander por el tema que ha elegido para la conferencia este año y que ha sido expuesto elocuentemente por la presidenta, ¿no? La confianza. I really want to congratulate you for choosing trust as the key subject for this year's conference. I think this is a highly relevant and very timely subject to use as a key headline for the discussions that will take place today. Trust is a major factor underlying all aspects of the social, economic, and political realities of our times. I would say actually that it's more important than ever to our lives and businesses. And as a member of the government, this subject resonates very much with me because trust is an essential element of policy making too. The capacity, the ability to successfully implement policies depends on trust. Without trust in governments, it is difficult to mobilize support for necessary reforms. Without trust between citizens and firms, it has already been said today, this morning, some even question the long-term viability of our open societies and our social market economy model. Trust is even more valuable in the current international environment, marked by instability and uncertainty. Multilateralism as the foundation of a cooperative world that has run our systems since the Second World War is being questioned, replaced instead by a drive towards superpowers competition. The challenges to multilateralism and the deepening of trade tensions is already having an impact, a negative impact, on the global economy. Trade and global demand is losing momentum. Inflation does not pick up, and the international economy is slowing down, especially in the Eurozone. Some emerging economies are also experiencing difficulties, with increased instability leading to the defensive accumulation of reserves. Other uncertainties looming over the current scenario include the slowdown of China's economy or the sustainability of US growth. And there's obviously Brexit. A third deadline has been set for January the 31st, with general elections happening before that. And while the actual terms under which the UK will leave the EU remain unknown to this day, the British economy has already paid a cost affecting many in the financial sector. Now, I was looking at my speech, my opening speech for last year's conference, and I noted that some of the risks I pointed out 1 year ago, such as the interest rate increase or the oil price increase, have not materialized. Most of the factors, the risk factors that were pointed out 12 months ago, remain on the table 1 year later. And obviously, this global context, this global environment has an impact on Spain's economic performance. It can only be expected of an economy as open as ours. So economic growth in Spain is moderating, but our economy is weathering this adverse external environment better than our peers. Growth remains on a robust path, based upon more stable, more sustainable, and more balanced foundations than was the case previously in our history. Economic growth comes hand in hand with job creation, but without inflationary tensions or asset bubbles. Domestic demand is dynamic, but its strength is not leading to current account deficits or external indebtedness, as happened in other expansionary phases. In addition, both the private and public sector have made substantial progress in their deleveraging, and their financial positions have substantially improved. Actually, household savings rates have begun to improve on the back of disposable income increases. So quarter after quarter, GDP growth doubles the average growth in the Eurozone. And currently, all national and international forecasters project that the Spanish economy will continue to grow this year, of course, and in 2020. Now, nevertheless, complacency should be discarded because the current reality is fraught with very important challenges coming from both inside and outside our borders. And as a responsible government, aware of the importance of intangible assets, we must stand ready to deliver. And that is why, from day one, the government has conducted a responsible and prudent assessment of Spain's economic performance, and that is what we have systematically communicated to the public, with no overreactions, neither in a positive sense, as was the case in the spring, nor in a negative direction, as is the case now in the autumn, as some of these risks are approaching or materializing. That is also the reason why we have engaged in a permanent dialogue with the different economic sectors, the different ministries, the different levels of administration in our country, and with society as a whole, to be a government that does what it says and says what it does. And finally, that is why the government has pursued a clearly communicated and quite coherent economic policy agenda that is anchored on three basic principles of good economic governance: fiscal responsibility, social sensitivity, and structural reforms. First, budget responsibility, fiscal stability. This is the basic principle for us,